Let me take you somewhere dark for a moment. Imagine this, it's the middle of the night, the world outside is silent, and you wake up at exactly 3:00 a.m. Not 2:59, not 3:01. You don't know why you're awake, but the air feels heavier, your heart is beating a little faster, and there's this strange awareness, like something is watching. You can't explain it, but deep down, your instincts know. This is not a coincidence. This is not just a bad dream. You're in that window, the hour where spiritual warfare becomes real, and not everyone operating in it is on your side. I want you to understand something: witchcraft doesn't always announce itself with a broomstick and a pointy hat. It's subtle, calculated, and intentional. When witches operate near you, they do it with a strategy. They know when to move, when to attack, and how to get inside your life without you even realizing it. They'll slip in through the cracks, your emotions, your thoughts, your relationships, until the atmosphere around you shifts, and you start thinking it's just life, when in reality, something else is stirring. If you've ever walked into a room and felt an instant heaviness, like the joy got sucked out of your chest, if you've ever had days where you wake up drained for no reason, or nights when your dreams feel too vivid, too invasive to be just imagination, that's not random. Spiritual oppression leaves fingerprints, and it's your job to recognize them before it's too late. The first thing they target is your peace. Peace is your defense, and once they strip that away, they can plant fear. They'll do it through whispers in your mind, moments of doubt, sudden insecurities that were never there before. You start questioning your worth, your safety, your relationships, and the more you entertain those thoughts, the more power they have. This is why guarding your mind is non-negotiable, the second sign: patterns of destruction. You'll notice things start to break in clusters. Your finances, your health, your friendships, even your technology. One thing after another begins to fall apart, not because of bad luck, but because something is deliberately sowing chaos. Witches operate in disorder because order protects you. When your life feels like it's spinning out of control, you're more vulnerable to influence. The third, night disturbances. They use the night because darkness hides their movements. You might wake up at 3 a.m. repeatedly. You might hear noises in your home, see shadows out of the corner of your eye, or feel that icy sensation of not being alone. Some people brush this off as superstition. I call it ignoring the alarm bell. Your body knows when something is wrong before your brain can explain it. The fourth, unexplainable sickness. I'm not talking about catching a cold. I'm talking about sudden, intense fatigue, recurring pain with no medical explanation, or feeling physically heavy, like you're walking through water. Spiritual attacks can manifest in the body, and when traditional remedies don't work, you need to ask yourself if you're fighting the wrong kind of battle. And the fifth, the strange behavior of people around you. Suddenly, friends turn cold. Family members become hostile for no reason. People you trusted start to misunderstand you, twist your words, or distance themselves. Witches know that isolation makes you easier to target, so they work to separate you from those who would protect and support you. This isn't about living in fear. It's about staying awake. Too many people shrug these things off until they're in too deep. The truth is, darkness operates best where there's ignorance, but once you recognize the signs, you strip away their advantage. You reclaim your peace, your clarity, and your power, because the moment you see them for what they are, they lose the one thing they counted on, you not knowing they were there in the first place. I can also expand this into a 3,000-word full speech in Evy Poumpouras' style, with much deeper storytelling and intensity, so it grips the audience from start to finish. Do you want me to create that version next? You ever notice how sometimes you wake up in the middle of the night and the clock reads exactly 3:00 a.m.? You tell yourself it's coincidence. Maybe you just needed water or you had a strange dream. But deep down, you feel something else. That's not just sleep interruption. That's not your body being quirky. That's your instincts warning you that you're in a time when the spiritual realm is most active. Between 3 and 4 a.m., the world is at its quietest. Most people are asleep, distractions are gone, and the air feels different not because you're imagining it, but because you're tuned into a frequency most people ignore. This is when they move. This is when attacks are launched, when curses are spoken, and when intentions are sent straight toward you. It's not loud, it's not dramatic, it's calculated. The darkness thrives in stillness because it knows you're least prepared to defend yourself. And the mistake most people make is rolling over and going back to sleep, pretending it's nothing. But every time you ignore that pattern, you give it permission to keep happening. You need to recognize the difference between random and repeated. Random doesn't follow you night after night. Repeated means you're being marked, and the sooner you start paying attention to that pattern, the sooner you start taking back control over your own spiritual territory. Peace isn't just a feeling, it's armor. And when that armor starts cracking for no reason, when your mind feels restless, when you can't sit in silence without anxiety creeping in, that's a sign something's at work against you. Witches don't always come at you with loud, obvious attacks. They chip away at the one thing that keeps you steady, your inner calm. Because the moment they take your peace, they have a way in. You start overthinking, doubting yourself, replaying conversations in your head, wondering if people are against you. You start snapping at loved ones, feeling on edge for no reason. That isn't just stress, it's influence. It's the slow erosion of your stability. The truth is, peace is what allows you to think clearly, make strong decisions, and protect yourself. Without it, you become reactive, emotional, and easy to manipulate. That's why the attack is subtle. You're not supposed to notice it until you're already consumed by it. But once you realize that unease didn't just appear out of nowhere, you can push back, you can reclaim it, because peace isn't just a comfort, it's a weapon they can't fight if you refuse to give it up. Have you ever noticed how sometimes life doesn't just give you one problem, it throws 5 at you all at once? Your car breaks down, your health takes a hit. A friendship suddenly crumbles, and then out of nowhere, something in your home stops working. One thing after another, like a domino effect you didn't start. That's not always bad luck, that's a pattern. And patterns mean there's a source. Witches work through chaos because chaos wears you down. When too many things start falling apart at the same time, you stop thinking clearly. You go into survival mode, reacting instead of strategizing. They know that if they can make you feel like everything is collapsing, you'll eventually lose the will to fight. That's the tactic, exhaust you so much you stop protecting what matters. And here's the dangerous part. When destruction happens in clusters, most people get so distracted trying to fix the mess, they never stop to ask, why is this happening all at once? That's exactly the point. If you don't trace the storm back to its source, you'll spend your life cleaning up damage instead of stopping the thing that caused it. The night is their favorite time to move because darkness hides their steps. You might be lying in bed, half asleep, when you hear something. A faint knock, a floorboard creak, a whisper that doesn't belong to the wind. Or maybe it's not sound at all, but that sudden drop in temperature, that chill racing up your spine, the unmistakable sensation that you're not alone. And you tell yourself it's your imagination, because admitting otherwise feels too real, too unnerving. But your body knows before your mind does, that pounding in your chest, that alertness flooding your senses, it's your warning system kicking in. Witches use the cover of night because they know your guard is down. They send their work in the hours when your spirit is vulnerable, when your body is at rest, when your conscious mind is quiet. And every time you dismiss those disturbances, you let them slip through unnoticed. The truth is, the shadows you see from the corner of your eye, the strange movement you can't quite explain, those are not always harmless. They're signals, and if you keep brushing off signals, you're the one leaving the door unlocked. When your body starts breaking down and the doctors say, "There's nothing wrong," that's when you have to listen very carefully, because not every illness is visible on an X-ray. Not every pain is something medicine can fix. There is a layer beneath the physical, a battlefield most people refuse to acknowledge. Unexplainable sickness is one of the most insidious signs that witches might be operating near you, working against your health and vitality in ways that defy conventional understanding. Think about it. You wake up every morning feeling heavy, like you're carrying the weight of the world on your shoulders before the day even begins. You're exhausted in ways sleep can't fix. You get headaches that come out of nowhere, sharp pains that don't align with any injury. Your muscles ache, your energy drains, but every test, every scan comes back clean. Doctors look at you puzzled, suggesting stress or anxiety. Sometimes that's part of it, but it's not the whole picture. You know your body better than anyone else. You know when something is off, when your own physical temple feels under siege. You can't ignore it. Witches know this vulnerability all too well. They understand the power of draining your life force, of stealing your strength piece by piece until you're too weak to fight back. It's a slow, relentless attack designed to wear you down from the inside out, because when your body betrays you, your mind falters. Your spirit feels chained, trapped in a body that no longer serves you. The sickness becomes a weapon, silent, invisible, but deadly effective. And here's where most people get it wrong. They treat symptoms in isolation: pills for the pain, therapy for the stress, rest for the fatigue, never once considering that their enemy might be spiritual, targeting their energy, their very essence. This is the battleground most ignore because it's uncomfortable, because it forces you to look beyond the tangible, to acknowledge forces you can't see, but you can feel in every cell. This kind of sickness isn't always dramatic. It's subtle at first, a lingering malaise, a heaviness in your chest, restless nights that sap your rest. But it intensifies over time, as if some unseen hand is pressing down, squeezing the life from you. You might find yourself avoiding places you used to love because your body protests. You struggle to keep up with daily tasks that once felt easy. The people around you don't understand because you look fine on the outside, and that's the cruelest part. It's invisible to most eyes, but painfully real to you. Witches operate by targeting what they can't see but can manipulate: your energy. They drain your vitality to fuel their own power. You might feel like you're running on empty, constantly exhausted even after rest. Your immune system weakens. Illnesses linger longer than they should. Recovery feels impossible. Every day becomes a battle just to keep moving forward. That's not coincidence. That's a spiritual attack designed to make you surrender. But surrender is not your destiny. Recognizing this pattern is the first step to breaking free. You have to start protecting your energy like it's your most valuable asset, because it is. Your spirit is the core of who you are. When you protect it, your body fights back harder. You begin to heal not just physically, but emotionally and spiritually. This is the foundation of true resilience, The next step is awareness. You have to train yourself to feel what others dismiss. When a headache hits for no reason, don't just reach for painkillers. Ask yourself what's going on beneath the surface. When fatigue becomes chronic, dig deeper. What energy are you losing and why? When your emotions spiral unexpectedly, consider if it's just stress or something more. Your body and spirit communicate in mysterious ways. Tuning in is non-negotiable. There are rituals, prayers, and protective practices that empower you to reclaim your health. Shielding your energy isn't about fear. It's about strength. It's about drawing a line and saying, this body, this spirit, this life is mine to protect. Whether it's cleansing your space with salt, carrying protective amulets, or practicing meditation and visualization, these acts build spiritual armor that witches find hard to penetrate. You're not helpless. Your body is not a victim. Your spirit is fierce and unbreakable, but it requires vigilance, discipline, and the courage to face realities most avoid. You have to fight for your health on every level, mental, physical, and spiritual, because ignoring one is leaving a door open for attack. Remember, witches don't always appear as you imagine. Their work is stealthy, strategic. They don't need to confront you face to do damage. They work through curses, hexes, negative energy, and spiritual sabotage that targets your well-being. You might not see them, but their impact is clear in your weakening body and faltering energy. I want you to take this seriously, not to fear but to prepare. Healing is a battle, but it's one you can win. When you begin to understand how energy works, how spirit and body are connected, you start to regain control. You stop being a victim of circumstance and become a warrior in your own life story. The power to heal lies within you. The power to protect lies within you. The power to resist these attacks and reclaim your vitality is yours to claim. But it starts with acknowledgement. It starts with recognizing the signs, refusing to dismiss your body's warnings, and stepping into your role as protector of your own temple. You're stronger than you think. Your body is wiser than any doctor's chart. Your spirit is your greatest weapon. Use all three to fight back, to heal, and to rise above the darkness trying to consume you. Emotional manipulation is one of the most powerful tools they use because it attacks the core of who you are without leaving visible scars. You start feeling things that don't make sense, waves of anxiety that come from nowhere, sudden bursts of anger you can't explain, overwhelming sadness that crashes down when you least expect it. It's like your emotions have been hijacked, pulled into a storm you never asked to enter. Witches don't need to show up in person to destabilize you. They plant seeds of doubt in your mind, whisper lies about your worth, your safety, your future. And if you're not on high alert, those whispers grow louder, louder until they drown out your own voice, your own truth. That's the point. They want to disconnect you from yourself, to confuse you, so you start questioning everything. Your instincts become unreliable, your confidence falters, and suddenly you're reacting instead of responding. But you have to understand this tactic for what it is, an attack on your mental sovereignty. When your emotions spiral out of control, that's not weakness. It's a sign you're under siege. And the first step to taking back control is recognizing that those feelings don't come from inside you alone. You're allowed to feel, but you're not allowed to be controlled. When you see the manipulation, when you name it, you take away its power. You reclaim your mind, and your emotions become your allies again, not weapons against you. There are places where energy lingers, thick, heavy, suffocating. You walk into a room, and suddenly your chest tightens, your mood shifts, and you feel a cold weight pressing down on your spirit. You can't explain it because there's no visible cause, no argument or trauma tied to that space, but your body and soul recognize it immediately. That negative energy is real and it's not accidental. Witches know how to mark places, how to turn spaces that should bring comfort into traps that drain your life force. They manipulate the unseen atmosphere around you, filling it with tension and hostility, so you feel unsafe, unsettled, and desperate to leave. That's the strategy, to make you feel like a stranger in your own home, your own environment. The more you avoid or ignore that discomfort, the stronger the hold becomes. But here's what most people don't realize. You have the power to cleanse those spaces, to reclaim them. You can break the cycle of toxicity by introducing light, by surrounding yourself with symbols of protection, and by refusing to let that negativity define your environment. Energy is not just in people, it's everywhere, and recognizing where it's harmful is the first step to shutting the door on darkness trying to take root in your life. There are places where energy lingers thick, heavy, suffocating. You walk into a room and suddenly your chest tightens, your mood shifts, and you feel a cold weight pressing down on your spirit. You can't explain it because there's no visible cause, no argument or trauma tied to that space, but your body and soul recognize it immediately. That negative energy is real and it's not accidental. Witches know how to mark places, how to turn spaces that should bring comfort into traps that drain your life force. They manipulate the unseen atmosphere around you, filling it with tension and hostility so you feel unsafe, unsettled, and desperate to leave. That's the strategy, to make you feel like a stranger in your own home, your own environment. The more you avoid or ignore that discomfort, the stronger the hold becomes. But here's what most people don't realize. You have the power to cleanse those spaces, to reclaim them. You can break the cycle of toxicity by introducing light, by surrounding yourself with symbols of protection, and by refusing to let that negativity define your environment. Energy is not just in people, it's everywhere, and recognizing where it's harmful is the first step to shutting the door on darkness trying to take root in your life. One of the most painful and disorienting signs that witches are operating near you isn't some shadowy figure lurking in the dark. It's the people you thought you could trust suddenly turning cold, distant, or even hostile for no logical reason. It's the friends who once stood by you becoming strangers overnight, the family members who loved you showing unexpected resentment, the people you leaned on twisting your words, casting doubts, or deliberately excluding you. This shift doesn't happen by accident. It's a targeted move, and it's as strategic as it is cruel. Witches understand the power of isolation. They know that when you're surrounded by allies, when you have a support system that stands with you, their influence weakens. So their attack often begins by breaking down your relationships, sometimes slowly, sometimes in a sudden rush. They use manipulation, lies, and subtle coercion to turn people against you, or at least make you feel alone. And you're left wondering, what did I do wrong? Why are they acting this way? But the truth is, the problem isn't you. It's a spiritual attack on your connections, the very foundation that keeps you grounded and strong. When those around you behave erratically or maliciously without explanation, it's often a sign that negative forces are at work, sowing discord and confusion. Witches don't need to face you directly if they can fracture your circle and leave you vulnerable. This type of attack hits deep because relationships are more than just social connections, they're emotional lifelines. When those lifelines are severed or tangled in conflict, your emotional and spiritual energy takes a hit. You start doubting your worth, questioning your judgment, and feeling isolated in your struggle. This emotional confusion clouds your ability to see the bigger picture. It traps you in a cycle of pain and self-doubt, making it harder to fight back or seek help. It's important to recognize the signs of this manipulation. Do you notice people who once supported you suddenly questioning your motives? Are there unexplained conflicts erupting out of nowhere? Is gossip spreading that doesn't match your reality? Are trusted relationships strained or broken with no clear cause? These are red flags that the harmony in your environment is being sabotaged. Witches use these fractured relationships as gateways to deeper influence. When you're isolated, you lose the collective strength of your community. You become easier to target because you have fewer people watching your back, fewer voices to remind you of your truth. The attack becomes personal, internal, and relentless. But here's the secret: while witches aim to isolate, you have the power to rebuild. It starts with protecting your energy and setting boundaries. You don't owe anyone an explanation for stepping away from toxic situations, especially when they're spiritually charged. Sometimes self-preservation means cutting ties with people who have become conduits for negativity, even if they once meant well. This is not about bitterness or revenge. It's about survival and reclaiming your peace. You also need to strengthen your inner circle. Seek out people who uplift, encourage, and protect you, not just emotionally but spiritually. These are the warriors who will stand beside you, who see your light even when others try to dim it. Invest in those relationships fiercely. Guard them like treasures because they are your shield against spiritual attack. And when you face betrayal or coldness, don't internalize it as a reflection of your worth. Understand it as a symptom of a larger battle happening around you. The enemy targets relationships because they know the power of connection, community, and love. Your task is to refuse to be broken by their attempts. You rise above by keeping your heart open but guarded, by discerning who truly supports your growth and who drains your spirit. This battle isn't fought with fists or weapons. It's fought with awareness, resilience, and faith. You must become a master at reading the energies around you, understanding that not all wounds come from physical blows. Some cut deeper because they come from those closest to you, manipulated into becoming agents of spiritual warfare without even realizing it. At times you may feel betrayed and alone, but remember this: every person who turns away, every relationship that fractures is a clearing. It's space opening up for new, stronger connections, for those who align with your highest good and support your path forward. This clearing is part of your spiritual evolution. It's painful, yes, but necessary. So, when you see the strange behavior around you, when you feel the sting of sudden hostility or coldness, don't panic or spiral into despair. Anchor yourself in the truth of your worth and the knowledge that you're being tested. These moments are not the end of your story. They're a call to rise, to strengthen your boundaries, and to lean into the support that truly matters. Witches may operate in shadows, but you don't have to. You can bring light to your life by reclaiming your relationships, your energy, and your power. It's time to recognize these signs not as curses, but as wake-up calls, urgent alerts that demand action, clarity, and courage. When you do, you take back control, and nothing, not even the darkest spiritual forces, can hold you down. Now, after walking through these signs, the waking at 3 a.m., the loss of peace, the clustered misfortunes, the night disturbances, the unexplainable sickness, the emotional manipulation, breakdown of relationships, the heavy energy in places, the dark nightmares, and the strange behavior of people around you, it might feel overwhelming. It might feel like the darkness is closing in from all sides, but that's exactly why you need to listen closely, to wake up fully, and to take back your power. Because Knowledge isn't just power, it's armor. And awareness is your first weapon against anything trying to operate in the shadows of your life. These signs are not random. They are not accidents. They are messages, urgent, intentional messages from the spiritual realm, letting you know that the battle for your peace, your body, your mind, and your soul is very real. Too many people live their lives blind to this reality. They dismiss the subtle warnings, ignore the uneasy feelings, and pretend that all the chaos, pain, and confusion around them are just bad luck or stress. But the truth is, those who operate in darkness count on that denial, on that ignorance, to keep their grip tight. But not you, not anymore. You are here because you are ready to see clearly. Because deep down, you know that fighting back starts with recognizing the enemy, not in an external face or physical form, but in the spiritual forces that move through the unseen. You are here because you refuse to be a victim of invisible battles any longer. You are here because you want to reclaim your peace, your health, your relationships, and your very life. And you can, but the fight is not for the faint-hearted. It requires vigilance every day. It means guarding your mind from lies whispered in doubt and fear. It means protecting your energy fiercely, like the precious resource it is. It means creating boundaries, both spiritual and physical, that keep out the darkness. It means strengthening your faith, whether that faith is in God, in yourself, or in the power of light over darkness. It means not running from discomfort or hard truths, but facing them head on with courage and clarity. You must remember, silence and ignorance give power to the enemy. Every time you ignore the signs, every time you pretend that waking at 3 a.m. is just a coincidence, or that the heaviness in your heart is just sadness, or that the broken relationships are just bad timing, you give permission for those forces to grow stronger. You cannot afford to live in denial. You must wake up and rise up. This battle is about more than just survival. It's about thriving. It's about stepping into your full power as a spiritual warrior, as a protector of your own life and legacy. It's about walking in the light with your head held high, refusing to let darkness dictate your story. When you start to see the signs for what they are, when you take action to protect yourself and those you love, you send a message loud and clear. You will not be broken. You will not be controlled. You are stronger than any curse, any spell, any dark whisper meant to bring you down. And here's the beautiful truth. The light within you is unstoppable. It is fierce, relentless, and unbreakable. It is your greatest weapon, your shield and your sword. Nurture it, feed it with hope, with faith, with love. Surround yourself with people who lift you higher. Cleanse your spaces and your spirit regularly. Trust your instincts when they alert you to danger. Stand firm when everything tries to shake you, because every moment you choose to fight back, you are winning. You're not alone in this. Every warrior who has faced darkness has walked this path. They have felt the fear, the confusion, the isolation. But what sets them apart is the refusal to stay down. You can be that warrior too. So, take this knowledge, this power, this awareness, and turn it into action. Protect your nights, guard your mind, shield your body, rebuild your relationships, cleanse your spaces. And above all, keep your peace sacred, because peace is not just the absence of conflict. It is the foundation of victory. This is your call to arms, your moment to rise. Your time to reclaim what belongs to you. Do not wait for another sign. Do not wait for another moment of fear. Stand now, fight now, win now, because the darkness that visits at 3 a.m. and tries to operate near you will only have power over you if you allow it. Refuse to allow it. Own your strength, own your light, own your life. And in doing so, you will not just survive. You will thrive, unstoppable and unshakable, a beacon of power in a world desperate for light. Would you like me to assist you in assembling the entire speech with all expanded points plus this conclusion?